Hi, everyone. Welcome to Financial Insights. I'm Linda, your accounting coach. So, we are continuing our conversation regarding nonprofit finances. So, today we are going to discuss how to manage grants. So, we in the nonprofit sector, we love grants. However, many times we do not realize how much work goes into actually managing a grant. And what usually happens, the money is awarded, the organization, is feeling great, the board is happy, and then it's like, oh wow, I didn't know we had to, do these reports. Who's managing the reports? Were the reports sent out? Where's the financial reports? You have to, track in your accounting system. So there's a lot of moving parts when you're managing grants. So I want to provide you 4 tips on how to manage grants better. So number one, it's a team effort. So before that grant is awarded, the finance, the programming, and the fund development individuals should all be on the same page. So they all should be involved in the process. And I say even in the early stages, so everyone is aware of the grant expectations, the reporting, everything that is involved. So those 3 departments are very essential, and everyone needs to understand that it's a team effort. Number 2, get organized. So you want to make sure you have some type of system in place to track these grants. And I'm not necessarily saying on the finance side. What I mean is, you have a internal drive where you're storing information for each grant. So you could have a folder for each grant, and you'll have all of the proposals, you'll have the budget, you have the reports that have been submitted, you have your accounting reports. All that information, all those documents are stored in a place where everyone involved with the grant can have access to it. So if there's any questions, or also too during the audit, you can pull those documents. So make sure you have your documents organized. So once again, whatever your nonprofit uses to store documents, whether that's Google Drive or Dropbox, you want to have a folder dedicated to each grant. Then number 3, having an overall grant schedule. What I mean by that, this can be an Excel or Microsoft Word or Google Sheets, where you're listing out each grant, their award period, and the budget categories and the amounts. Because you want to make sure when you're applying for grants, there's no overlap. And what I've usually seen is there's usually sometimes overlap in salaries because nonprofits don't realize, oh, you know what, we got this grant and it's covering salaries from, April to July, and then they're awarded another grant and it's covering the same period. So you want to make sure you have a schedule. And some organizations, they use a software, whatever the case may be. You want an overall schedule where you can see everything on one page and see what grants you have. Once again, the award period, the budget category, and the amounts, so you can make sure there's no overlapping. Also, to just give you a good overview of what's going on regarding your grant. Then number 4, understanding how to treat that grant from an accounting perspective. So in accounting, we would call that accounting treatment. And what we mean by that, there's a couple things you need to consider. So number 1, the timing of the grant, when that money's going to come in. Is this a grant where they're going to give you half up front? Is this a grant where it's reimbursable, which means that the organization has to spend the money first and then submit a reimbursement? Or is it just a upfront? So they basically going to issue out the full amount. So you want to make sure you understand how the funds are going to come through. Also, you want to understand, does the nonprofit have to submit an invoice to the grantor? That's another thing sometimes that comes up. Also, you want to understand, what is the grant period? Once again, that's always an issue because once again, you do not want any overlapping with another grant. So make sure you understand the grant period. And what that means is usually, a grant can be awarded from, January to December, or if it starts from April to the following March. So you want to make sure you understand that grant period. So that grant period is that the time frame that says, okay, this is where you have to spend that funds between this specific time frame. So you want to make sure you understand that. So, you know what? If you haven't looked at your grants for a while, I think this is a good time. Take a look, make sure everything is organized, make sure you have a folder for each grant. That way, when the audit comes up next year, you're all ready to go. So, hopefully, you find this information helpful. Make sure you like, comment, and share, and we'll